I don't, even though I believe Jesus is the only way to heaven, I don't tell other people, because personally, I don't give a fuck if they get to heaven. Like, I think you should
go to church?
do it. Yes.
I go to church, but
my idea of heaven is being up in a cloud with a harp and shit and watching all my friends being raped by the devil.
This guy goes to church as chicken. That's about it.
So, obviously, very sad day. Nick was the person that introduced me to Norm. I think, I took and Nick is eating keto bread right now, actually. What's going on here?
Just doing a little Sochmeats.
Okay. So,
We don't do enough of that, BTS.
Pat, you okay?
Yeah, when he was asking me for bread out of my house to bring out here to the studio, I thought, and I actually brought a plastic fork, he needed bread to scoop up some of that pesto pasta that he'd ordered, and I wasn't going to give him the bread unless he gave me a bite of that pesto pasta. So I feel like it was a lose-lose on my part.
Yeah,
now he's crunching away or whatever in the microphone. It's no worse sound than someone eating into a microphone.
Ultimately, though, Pat,
it's
your fault. Because zombies in your neighborhood stole my Uber Eats.
Yeah, you got to check the ring out. I think it's,
Did you call the Uber company to see if they dropped it off?
I was texting with the dude.
Yeah.
We had it. I said, by the white gate. He said, okay, cool. He kept calling me. He was like, I need a pin. I texted him pin. He's like, thanks, got it.
You got to get the bread out of your mouth. But listen.
That light would have gone on if it was dropped off at the...
I think it's a user error kind of thing. And by user, I mean he's a piece of shit driver who didn't do it.
Do you remember the time Nick he was supposed to get us to my buddy Greg Hasty's house after the Dodger game, and we ended up on the whole other side of town. And then he got indignant and mad at us when...
Well, he was shit-faced at that point.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the same thing's happening.
And speaking of shit-faced, you may lament the bad negotiating you've done, or maybe not the bad negotiating, just the negotiating that didn't turn out in your favor. Had you not gotten those 2 pieces of bread, and he'd been going on Bang, White Claw, and an empty stomach, I mean, we would be talking to you want to talk about zombies? He'd be a zombie in 7 minutes if it weren't for that carbless bread he is eating right now.
Still could happen, I guess.
Yeah.
23 minutes.
All right, so Norm Macdonald has passed away today. Me and Nick's relationship started at Corolla. I think I took a liking to Nick because he was the one that showed me Norm Macdonald, and I was kind of like, I've never seen anything this funny in my entire life. I love Curb. I love Larry. He's a great observer, but I don't think there's really a comedic mind on this planet quite like Norm Macdonald. I used to give people shit because a guy that I worked with was crying that Anthony Bourdain had died. And I was like, you don't know the guy. And I didn't cry, but as the day went on, I was just like really sad that he had left. And kind of a crazy story. Me and Nick got to meet Norm when he came in to do an episode of Corolla. He was coming on to plug a memoir that he convinced Adam was up for a Pulitzer.
Some people may not know Adam Carolla. It's the Adam Carolla Show. He's a former L.A. radio guy who was considered to many the godfather of podcasting.
Yeah. Just a little one of the godfathers of podcasting, definitely. But anyways, Norm came in, Coke in hand, and...
soda.
Yeah. What form would the Coke be? If it was cocaine, what would it look like in his hand? Just was it a pile of Coke? Okay, so he had a Coca-Cola in his hand, a trademark beverage of his, and I was holding the door for him, and he like coughed or sneezed. I don't remember specifically the memory, but I said, "You all right, Norm?" And he said, "No, I'm dying," and I thought that he was just joking. But that was like 5 years ago, and he's had cancer for 9. And he has done that bit subversively telling people that he's been dying for such a long time, and he's been private about it, but kind of joking with himself about it. in a therapeutic, really beautifully hilarious way. He's just an unbelievable human being, and I'm so sad that he's gone. He likely wouldn't have done much. I think he was content with sitting at the house, eating ice cream and Count Chocula and gambling on shit. But it's sad that we're not going to see him pop up anymore.
You know, last I was like, I don't think he's done anything in a while. He did actually have a talk show on Netflix for a minute.
Yep.
I don't know if he got bored or their algorithm wasn't getting him enough views. But I
mean, and I don't want to do like a tribute to Norm tonight.
I do.
You want to do a full
Not
one?
a full episode.
Yeah, I mean,
this is my tribute.
Right. We'll do. I think we'll sprinkle in some Norm clips throughout the week because I didn't have time today. I have so many favorites that are just unbelievably hilarious. But one of my favorites was when he went on The View to talk about why he was being canceled, and that show was in danger of being canceled, which it ultimately was. Him joking about how Roseanne needed to talk to Louis. We'll get into it, but he said you'd have to have Down syndrome to think that the victims of Louis had it worse than Louis, and he needed to go on an apology tour. He went on The View and put mints in his mouth as he apologized for using the word Down syndrome.
The
word Down syndrome.
I realized at that moment that I'd done something unforgivable.
Yeah. Right. I mean, you know.
Yeah, no, it was. We'll play it at a later date.
My favorite was his Saturday Night Live years. Although I do love the film Dirty Work, I've bought it on DVD many times and lost it or given it to girlfriends as they move out. They take the copy of Dirty Work.
Norm is raped in Dirty Work, and he says, "Shame on you."
Shame on you. Ridiculous.
The people that rape.
Ridiculous.
Way out of line. Way out of line.
Which I think is a lesson how victims of rape shouldn't feel embarrassed. It's not on you.
It's on them. It's way out of line to rape somebody.
He was getting a lot of love today on the socials. I was shocked at, I follow Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, and he did this most creative one that I saw. He did all the characters that he did on Saturday Night Live, which I forgot. He was horrible at impressions when he do Burt Reynolds.
But he made it his own. Like, Burt was so funny because Norm was doing it.
You should have seen his Bob Dole.
Bob Dole was bad.
Oh, no, it was wonderful. Bob Dole would cry, and he always had him holding the pencil. I think Bob Dole, like, one of his arms was, in real life, was paralyzed.
He did a Tarantino that was fucking flawless. Flawless Tarantino.
He did what, like, comedic impressionists do well.
Right.
There's some accurate impression.
Dunnigan does it.
Yeah, there are accurate impressionists who can do the voice well, but he was funny. He just highlights something, and his Burt Reynolds is a self-inflated piece of shit.
Right.
And Norm nailed that without trying to do his voice in any respect.
Right. It was just his voice with a mustache.
And you mentioned how he had a show on Netflix, and you're like, I don't know why the algorithm did pick it up. The reason it got picked up in general is because it was wildly fanatic. The fans of the podcast, which it was bore out of, Norm Macdonald Live, my favorite podcast of all time, literally something I would watch live on Monday nights when I was in Minneapolis at my 9 to 5, and spurred me, along with Conor McGregor and a number of other podcasts I listened to quit my job, drive out here in my car, live in it for a while to pursue a dream in podcasting, and one day meet him, which I did, and pussed out and didn't ask him to sign my book or get a picture. But I did point out that the producer of the Adam Carolla Show, Gary Smith, looked like his sidekick, Adam Egget. He's like, oh yeah, he does. But I love Norm. But the reason Norm Macdonald has a show didn't kind of get traction is because it was a tamped down corporate version of the wild, untamed Norm that was doing it on YouTube.
Right.
Like, he couldn't even go 5% as far as he was going. There were no Hitler jokes on the Netflix Norm show.
There were some jokes, and again, we'll bring them in, but like, just unbelievably funny. But so crass, but brilliantly crass. Like the joke, a man was caught today. He was on acid and cut his own penis off. And Norm's like, when we were a kid, we just did acid. We didn't have to chop our fucking cocks off. I mean, just crazy stuff like that.
He talked about how he was there when Don Rickles was on his deathbed, and he's like, I went to pay my last respects, and I leaned over and I whispered in his ear. He's like, I love you. I respect you so much. I like, thank you for being my life. And Don looked up at him and he replied,
my favorite one is sometimes you hear other comedians share stories of their personal interactions with him.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite one was when Artie Lang was his opener. And this is like 20 years ago. And they're in San Francisco. And Artie's kind of like a little bit more wild or perceived as a little bit more wild on stage. And Norm went up to him and was like, hey, Artie, cool it with the gay stuff. We're in San Francisco. And Artie's like, he actually felt really bad. He's like, oh my God, I don't want to fuck up because, you know, Norm's helping me out and all. First joke, Norm goes out and he's like, hey, San Francisco, how's the AIDS?
Well, he also did a joke in San Francisco about there were these two parents. He saw two parents at a gay pride parade. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm so emotional. They had a sign that said, we're proud of our gay son. And all jokes aside, you know, it is difficult for people to come out and they should be proud of it. But Norm was like, that's an odd thing to be proud of. It's not really an accomplishment, you know, like dad goes, oh, you know, our boy Johnny's doing really well. He's articling at a law firm and, oh yeah, he loves cock. I got a picture of him right here sucking another guy's cock.
I didn't know. Did that just come out today, or had that been known that he's had cancer for 9 years?
It came out today that he pulled a Chadwick Boseman kind of thing where he was just very private about it.
Andy Kaufman.
I have mixed feelings about it.
Hang on.
I asked that question to lead into something that right around 9 years ago, maybe when he was diagnosed, he went on Mark Maron's WTF, and the large portion of the discussion was surrounding death. And they talked about this book that, like, I think about all the time, Ernest Becker's Denial of Death, where the whole premise is that he's like a 20th century German philosopher, and he talked about how everyone's goal in life is to essentially leave something that will go on longer than themselves. Like, some people choose children, some people choose religion that think they will give them eternal life. Some people get like way more
legacy
myopic. They just choose their sports team and they pour everything into that.
Right.
And he just was upset. He had read that book, and Mark Maron would always bring up that book, and they talked about that a lot. And it might have been right around, I bet it lines up right around the time he was diagnosed.
Did he have any kids?
No.
One kid named Dylan. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Good athlete. Basketball.
Was he married at the time? I should have done some research.
I don't know.
He seemed like he'd had a couple divorces, I think.
Yeah, he was I feel a toxic man privately.
Tough to live with.
Yeah, he was addicted to gambling. And listen, we'll bring in some Norm clips. I don't think I know I haven't done any joke that we've talked about justice.
Me neither.
So I did my Don Rickles one.
But
yeah, that was good.
What you're hearing is that we were influenced by a guy, and we
lost him today.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite appearance of his. He was on Conan O'Brien. He's done Conan like 20 times.
Yeah.
And there was an actress who used to be on Melrose Place.
Yeah, I remember that.
Who did a movie with Carrot Top, and Norm was always allowed to stay on panel when the second guest came out, and he just took over the interview and
he
just
shit all over the movie, just made fun of it.
He's already shitting on it. He has everybody in the building rolling. And he's like, Conan's like, stop, Norm, stop. He's like, to the actress, I cannot remember her name. He's like, hey, what's the movie called? And she's like, Chairman of the Board. And Conan goes, hey, Norm, you got anything for that one? And he goes, I bet board spelled B-O-R-E-D. Just without hesitation. He's
so
incredible.
Fast, so brilliant. And like, a good dude. You said you had complicated thoughts of him being private about the illness.
Oh, well, I was going to say, because you feel bad. Like, all right, part of me, it's how I do it. Like, I don't need to be putting this out on social. I'm going through chemo or nothing.
Yeah.
That's the way I do it. I'll confess. But the other way is if they're talking about it, it lets other people know, hey, go get checked or all this other stuff. Keeping it hidden doesn't let other people that may, because Norm had a certain audience where maybe the guys would have been like, hey, I'm like Norm's age. Maybe if he's busting balls over, go get checked. Go get your balls checked. Go get fingered by your doctor and your bum.
Yeah, I don't ever think that he would really be the PSA.
That's why I said I
type.
had mixed feelings.
Right.
I kind of respect someone who just, they do it quietly.
Yeah.
I haven't thought about it like you just said, how like, oh, it could spur on others to go get checked. But I think it's a much more worthy endeavor to not, and this shouldn't be how it's thought of if you're sick, if you want to share with your loved ones, but to burden the loved ones and sadden them and stuff. I think the people closer to him are more important than the people who should go out and get checked anyways. Get some fingers up your butt. You're 40.
Right.
Yeah, get a finger up your ass. And we miss Norm. Rest in peace. Like he said, heaven is him on a cloud with a harp, looking at his friends getting raped by the devil. So I'm sure he's having a good time up there. But speaking of, this is another podcast show. I'm Dylan, settled up next to one real Nicholas Davis.
What's going on, everybody?
Pat produces a podcast of it behind my glasses.
Hey, buddy,
It's
how
a show
are
where
you?
we
Nice to
kind
have
of
you.
goof about whatever.
Is this on the free feed?
No, it is Patreon. So
This clip about Norm will be isolated and put it on his own YouTube clip.
speaking of dealing with things privately, I think we all more or less agree that this is the more honorable route. It leads me into another comedian who I love and who I am very, very sad to see
Ian K.
just fall down a fucking drain of late. That is one John Mullaney. I don't know if you guys heard, but Mullaney's been on a bit of a coke bender. He has been romancing with Olivia Munn, and he's gotten a divorce. All this stuff's going on.
Well, admittedly, he's been in like 12 different treatments over the year, or 12 different stints in
it's one of
rehab.
these weird things where like he used to do coke a lot as a kid because he grew up affluent in like Connecticut, destined for Saturday Night Live, that kind of guy, Catholic smart comedian. But talk about a cult of celebrity, the kind of whatever the opposite of private dealings.
Sounds like you're souring on him, Dylan.
I am souring on him. He went on Seth Meyers to talk about his, quote, eventful year. And it made me honestly sick. And I was talking to you about this. I've lamented with a concerning lack of empathy addicts many times. I find them to be unbelievably annoying. I find them to be, and I know it's a disease. I know I'm wrong, but I just, this is a close circle. I can't do the talks of how you should get, how this helped me, life tips, all this fucking, this.
Dylan, are you annoyed by people in your personal circle that are addicts, or just people that you're aware of that talk
Both.
about? Okay.
Both. And I have a friend who's an addict who's not annoying, but more often than not, they just have this energy of this preoccupation and obsession with getting better that I cannot relate to because I'm fine. I don't have a drinking problem. Leave me alone. So anyways, John goes on Seth Meyers to talk about his eventful year, and it is nauseating. Let's take a watch. You guys stop me whenever you want. And I should say, there are some funny moments in this, but most of it, I think, will just make you guys sick.
We're thrilled to have our first guest here with us tonight. He's an Emmy-winning comedian and writer. You know from his work on Saturday Night Live, Oh Hello on Broadway, and Netflix's John Mulaney and the Sack Lunch Bunch. Please welcome back to the show our very good friend, John Mulaney.
Before I pile on with you, I also have loved John Mulaney as a comedian since his first special, New in Town.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Oh Hello, I went to live with my sister.
Incredible.
In LA, sat next to what's the Josh Groban and the girl from.
When I was thinner, people told me I looked like him.
All the time.
Yeah.
And the girl from Two Broke Girls with the
Kat Dennings.
Kat Dennings and Josh Groban. We didn't go with them. We just happened to sit by.
You didn't go with him?
Some people.
You're not a Grobanite?
I didn't say that. Yeah.
What an intense name for a fan. A Grobonite.
I love John Mulaney, the lore of him trying to get Bill Hader to crack when he was doing Stefan by writing stuff on the cue cards. Love John Mulaney. I will pile on with
Does Seth have a bubble ass? He's got a little skinny little face. He looks like he has a bubble butt.
All right, take it easy. Take it easy.
I saw
The
what
studio? A while back?
I'm told that I was, yeah.
Yeah. You've had a year.
Yeah.
All right.
Here,
Well, let me rewind because there's the first thing where
He's setting him up.
Mullaney kind of jokes about how like he's been in a drug-fueled haze. Like, oh, I was told that I was here. John, please stop.
You were in studio a while back?
I'm told that I was, yeah.
Yeah. You've had a year.
Yeah. It's nice to see you.
It's great to see you as well.
How are you?
It's good. We've talked a fair amount, but I haven't seen you for a good long time.
No, it's been a while. I packed a lot into this. Is it September now?
It is September, yeah.
Okay, so since last September, I went to rehab in September, okay? I got out in October. I move out of my home from my ex-wife. I host Saturday Night Live on Halloween.
Yeah.
I relapse on drugs after the show. Not directly after, I just mean not, after.
Hey, stop it. Talk
after
about
good
white
night. Well
person
after.
problems.
This is infuriating.
It's infuriating. I can't stand this guy. By the way, this conversation, this ain't for talk show late night.
No,
it is I'm the one always saying, hey, how about some real chat? But this is still to try and send a message out. There's a reason for this interview and how it's going. It's like, look, I'm fine. You can hire me now. I can have a Netflix show. Look how together I have it. That's what I'm feeling right now. And I don't like that Seth, who's a personal friend, is helping him out with this.
It's the networks being like, we have a cash cow who is fucking himself up. We need to protect him and allow him to do this.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be super fucking awkward as no one's laughing because they don't know.
There are
funny?
3 people. It's not funny. He just got out of all this stuff. They're trying to make light of it, but he's been kind of a piece of shit. And it is this weird thing where like he went to rehab, so it's weird to joke about it. Also, he treated his ex-wife like shit, and is now hooking up with like a pseudo celebrity. Like Olivia Munn's not working. Like I don't know why. Like.
She's doing a podcast?
Accidentally impregnating Olivia Munn is such a fucking feather in your cap. You were married to someone who had an art gallery or something. But anyways, this whole thing is just really sick. But let's watch a little bit more.
You've always said to me,
Yes.
the Halloween show of SNL is sacrosanct.
You can't, you cannot be under the influence of anything on that.
Exactly.
You have to be stone cold sober.
It's not no one laughing. There's no studio
There's
audience.
no studio audience.
Oh, man, I cannot believe anybody would watch Seth Meyers' show late night, no studio audience.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, not Seth Meyers.
Okay, so you're coming out of that.
I hosted that. I did relapse back onto drugs after that. And then I'm told I took a job here. And, I remember you asked me to do Royal Watch, News of the Real Life Crown. And I hope, how's that segment going?
It's on hold.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Peacock is interested.
Oh, I'm sure. What isn't Peacock interested?
It's funny.
Inside
place
joke.
to say
I
that.
say buy a lot of
Right.
crap.
And
Yeah.
I continued using drugs. You and some other friends staged an intervention, as you recall. I went to rehab again, this time for 2 months. I got out in February. I lived in sober living for another month and a half.
Now, just really quickly, there's like another minute or so, but like another part of this is the gross cult of celebrity thing where it's like cool because the people that staged an intervention, are the people from SNL. It was like, this isn't a sad intervention. This is a cool Hollywood intervention. It's fucking disgusting. Then we'll get to the announcement of his new child. Here we go.
The insurrection was on January 6th, but I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
That was actually, I was away when that happened.
Yeah, like you can't be late at your doorstep.
No, and it wouldn't have happened on my watch. There was never an insurrection before I went to rehab. And have they done it since I got out?
Not once.
They wouldn't dare. Baby J's back on the streets.
That's kind of funny.
Then in the spring, I went to Los Angeles and met and started to date the wonderful woman named Olivia.
Who I know well.
Yes,
a
you
lovely
know
woman.
Olivia Munn very well.
Of Money Talks podcast fame.
I met her actually for the
that a real
first time
thing?
in life
No.
at your wedding.
I just wanted to get that joke
Alexa,
again.
your wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice something good came out of the wedding. Isn't that's just a clean, good joke all around. That's a fun joke all around.
It's a fun joke. For her.
Sorry. You know, I don't follow his work as closely as the both of you.
Yeah.
I can't imagine a world where this man makes people laugh.
Incredibly funny.
Watch his Netflix specials with Sheree. I'm not kidding. It's I don't know. There's some of my favorite.
Brilliant jokes.
Because I don't like him. He's pretty pretentious.
He's in a mode where he's gotten so much adoration that he is so on the high horse, and it's this weird dissonance where it's like, dude, you're at a low point. This is nothing to have shoulders back and chest out about. He has a bit, it's so funny, it's about forensic evidence making crime so much harder to commit, when back in like the who was that famous bank robber that Johnny Depp played?
It was filmed in Wisconsin.
Regardless, like there's a bit about someone would come into a room, or an inspector would be in a room and somebody would run in and
Public enemy.
Public enemy. Someone goes, Captain, there's a pool of the killer's blood in the next room. And the captain goes, yuck, mop it up. It's like he has so many hilarious observations. But anyways, let's get to the announcement of his
Pat,
job.
can you, before like next week, watch New in Town with your wife? I'm telling you, I promise.
Nick,
We have 2 minutes left, or 2% left on this computer. So I
beg
really,
you. If Nick didn't know this already, Nick, I have a really dark sense of humor that needs to be stretched. I need like to be in an elevator and 4 people come in and then someone farts to make me laugh. I can't observation humor does not make me
okay.
laugh.
not
Please,
observational
please,
humor.
can we shut the fuck up because there's 2% on this computer.
Yes, it's a great joke for her, and you'll have fun with it at home tonight. And she got to date me right out of recovery, which is what they call a reverse catch. No, but I'm sorry, but it is a very, very lucky thing to have met this woman and to have you've dealt with me. You knew me before I was on a lot of drugs.
Yep.
You knew me while I was on drugs. You did not know me immediately after stopping drugs. It's been a challenging time.
Would you say that is the hardest version of John Mullaney to be?
That to be, they're all uncomfortable to be, but no, it's kind of like, it's like newborn Bambi legs. You know how when Bambi's born, Bambi's like, hey, I used to be on cocaine.
He's doing a
Thumper was
stand-up
on
routine
cocaine.
and not committing.
Thumper,
Yeah.
they never tested Thumper.
That's a funny
Thumper
joke.
was
Yeah.
on Adderall, I know. But I got into this relationship that's been really beautiful, and with someone incredible who has dealt with non-coked up Bambi version of me. And that's been very incredible. And she's kind of held my hand through that hell. And we're having a baby together. Thanks.
Congratulations to both.
I was nervous when I was about to say the news. That's why I looked down and then I looked up.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't that you forgot it or anything.
No.
It's really thrilling.
I'm going to be a dad.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing.
Well, dude, get your shit together because now you got a fucking kid and you got to be responsible now. So I know it's fun.
The comments under this YouTube video are
Adoration.
no, they're brilliantly defamatory.
Oh, nice.
The race thing did get brought up. It's a prerequisite, or it's a
Race thing?
prerequisite.
What's the race thing?
Well, you were like
White people problem.
Oh, this is a white person problem. Like, I was addicted to coke, but then my friends at SNL's writer room stepped in and helped me. I went to a $5,000 a day rehab facility and didn't come into contact with a single law enforcement officer one time. But then there are people that are just like, dude, This entire segment is one giant red flag and nothing to joke about. So anyways, it's just such a stark contrast. Like Norm being private about cancer, not that you could make that really funny, but then this weird like
Norm could make it funny.
Younger person thing where Seth invites him on to joke about his drug use and his divorce and his new wedlock bastard baby. It's all just so gross.
Well, here's something interesting to think about. So he claims like, hey, Seth, yeah, you knew me when I wasn't on drugs, and then I started doing drugs, and then now I'm not doing drugs. A comedian has a method, and a lot of his shit could have been written while he was intoxicated or under some kind of outside
influence. I like what you're surmising, but like in his first stand-up, he quit drinking when he was like 21. Because he had a thing. He goes, I stopped drinking when I was in high school because I used to black out and ruin parties, which really hit home for me. But so he stopped drinking and he didn't fall off the wagon again until he became famous. Like once the adoration started pouring in, then he got fucked up.
Anyways,
he's new in town. It's not observation. He's a great storyteller.
I hope that everybody
self-aware. He used to be.
I hope that everybody found that to be nauseating, and sorry that wasn't that hilarious, but yeah, just gross stuff. Speaking of, we can move on to something that's hilarious. I think both of the things that you guys have brought this evening are funny. Do we want to begin with a woman we haven't seen in a long time?
Oh, you're talking about my friend Drew Barrymore?
Our friend Drew Barrymore, America's friend Drew Barrymore. We've known her since she was a little child.
Former guest of Norm Macdonald has a show on Netflix, An Amazing Hour.
Is that right?
That's the best episode of that show.
Okay. As the audience knows, I'm in love with the Drew Barrymore daytime talk show. It's called the Drew Barrymore Show.
Sure.
Not because it's good, but because I'm enthralled with how little effort has been put into producing it. There is zero producing going on. The extent of producing is something like this. Drew is cute. Drew is likable. Drew is famous. Let's have all her friends come on the show and let them just talk. And when the friends aren't there, we'll do things like watching Drew clean stains.
Yeah, she's so big into stains.
Cleaning stains is a reoccurring segment on the Drew Barrymore show, and it's called I believe it's called play the beginning of this real quick, because she has a chyron. Drew stands for stains
for Strahan.
Yeah, they changed that title because
Michael
he's not going to actually be on this clip because his video went out.
Right.
But she has his jacket with mustard on it.
Got it.
Now, I was excited when this daytime talk show was greenlit for season 2, which debuted 3 weeks ago.
Sure.
Let me just give the audience some information about this show. It's on CBS. It's meant to elevate and inspire people. In every segment, it'll be human interest stories and the lifestyle of celebrity guests. And it'll be anchored, use that loosely, by Drew Barrymore. Get this. Her ratings were through the fucking roof in 2020.
Yeah.
Hence, I guess she's really blowing up in the demo of 25 to 44. She's got an outrageous. What's that rating on those?
Q score?
Yeah. It's like through the roof, which she deserves this, and she deserves the money that she's being paid, which I believe is $20 million. I don't know where networks get this kind of
clip
fucking.
Has 3,000 views on it.
Is that right?
3,000.
Well,
we have clips that have more than this, and we are podcasters, not Drew Barrymore.
Okay, so let's watch. All right, this is why I'm actually playing this. And I don't want to be a dick. If people are watching it and they're at home, and I always say, hey, I don't want any politics, and I don't the Jerry Springer thing or Maury Povich, like checking who impregnated who. That stuff is all gross to me and ugly. How about something a little bit softer where I can, like a friend that's just talking in the background, making their favorite meatloaf dish or something like that.
That's exactly what this is. It's a meatloaf sandwich.
It's like just it's comfort food. It doesn't offend anybody, but I will say, only because I feel like I personally put more thought and production into a show in any given week than Drew,
Yeah.
I get really mad at that. So they basically, this show is called Drew Stands for Stains. Here, play the segment, which goes on for 6 minutes.
It's her flagship segment. We know this.
With Stains for Strahan.
That's not the name of the segment.
Zoom got disconnected. Oh my gosh, Michael, you drink your coffee and your green juice. I'm thinking you drink it like Robert Hayes in Airplane.
You pause it super quick. Tell me Michael Strahan makes an appearance on this.
I think he might show up when the Zoom's working a little bit later.
Okay.
But he's not there now.
That is insanity that they used his name.
Because if that doesn't happen, this is just a GMA awareness campaign.
The green juice right here. All right, you can see it sort of.
We're
looks
zooming
like
in on
all right,
a jacket.
and then
Yeah.
you have
Looks like puke,
the
actually.
Yeah, it looks like baby
remnants
throw up.
of a coffee stain. You don't want this on your jacket. You came to the right place. All right, I'm gonna go warm. Ooh, hoo, 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 hoo. Putting your hands in warm water is just the oddest sensation.
No.
Well, not the oddest.
Putting
though.
your fist
And I'm gonna just start
up a fat guy's asshole is the oddest
That's
sensation.
an odd one.
I'm
Yeah.
just-
in there.
Especially odd for the fat
I
guy.
want a little water. And what I want that water for is I just want the moisture.
Okay, so step one is
Because I'm
put
gonna go with a
water
little of an
on
old
it.
classic, my
Water's
Dr.
weird.
Bronner's Baby Mild. They have
Okay,
every
now
kind of
now we get
like
the
scent in the
brand
world.
paying
I'm
for
gonna go
for the
with a
segment.
clear
Yes.
soap here.
That's the
Because
disgusting
what
part
I
of this,
want
actually.
is an undyed viscosity. I do not want foam right now. I want the soap to go.
Can you
into the
imagine her
fiber.
doing a run through
Then,
an hour
ladies,
before they
you might
tape this?
recognize this. It's a buff puff. But what I have here again is there's no dye in this. So I do not want the dye to go into the jacket. All right?
Okay.
A lot of people don't know that.
I have to say, if one
I'm not
day I
against
could be
life
the
hacks.
master
I
of
like those.
She's good.
Yeah?
Yeah,
First
she's
it would
good.
be,
I mean, definitely
you know,
not good at
raising my
like
daughter
broadcasting a
properly.
segment on this,
I'd like
but
to
she
be
is
that kind of
good
master.
at
But second
removing
in
But do
line-
you-
She undoubtedly
second
stands for
in
stains.
line
Yeah.
would be-
But
Undoubtedly.
do you think
That's
people
right.
should be
The
tuning
fabric
into this at
actually
12:30
has
on a
and is treated
Tuesday?
with
Yeah,
some type of
yeah,
wicking.
because
So I'm impressed you even got.
it's
a
for
take on this
people
in the
who are
first place.
turning into stuff,
Because
tuning into
this
stuff
is
at
not a
12:30 on a
porous
Tuesday.
There's a lot more. She got paid $20 million
This is
for this.
literally like
20 million.
foolproof. So
Her and Kelly
well
Clarkson are
done,
having a little
sir,
battle
in
on who's going to be paid more.
literally
She's worth
protecting
$120
those
million,
that you
by the way.
dress.
That's like
Well-
Aaron Rodgers and Patrick
Now
Mahomes.
I'm actually going to go in the cold water because it doesn't have any soap. And I'm just going to pat.
Can you
because
imagine
ironically, if I
this?
wipe it with the paper towel,
I'm
you're gonna
actually
get little
enthralled.
cheese
You're
paper
enthralled
towel.
by
We
this.
don't want
Yeah.
She's cleaning stains on a TV show.
I know, but it's
that.
like
See, it already started to happen. It's like paper cottage cheese. That's not soap. I used the wrong material. I knew it. Sometimes I just do it to myself, you know.
okay. So we have a little mishap, but see, this is like a horse race. I mean, this is she's missed a step. She's behind the pack. Let's see if she can get back to the top.
She's legitimately embarrassed right now, though.
Legitimately
The
embarrassed.
stain is gone, but the wetness remains. Cindy!
Okay.
She calls to her producer.
Bring me the dryer!
Okay. So
Meanwhile,
she's
Michael-
not doing well right now.
Meanwhile, Michael Strahan, that's his jacket. He hasn't shown up yet.
Okay, she's screaming. She's not handling the adversity well. And now we are taking a hair dryer to a jacket, which is a lot. I mean,
Hey, can you pause it? Because
now the hair dryer is literally not where. I mean, this is insanely bad TV.
she'll get an
It's
Emmy
great
for this.
TV, but it's
she'll get
so
nominated for an Emmy for this.
bad. Wow. I mean, like the gaffer, like all the electrical equipment, just shit out on her. This is live
Well, she
television.
probably stepped over the plug and disconnected the plug from the extension cord
That's a
underneath
good
on
point.
the floor.
Do you mind if I fast
What
forward?
a fucking idiot.
Do you mind if I fast
sure,
forward
please,
to see?
please.
See, let's get to Strahan.
And one for others. What a great gift for the holidays.
Okay, so
We're
the jacket
almost
is
out of time, but
soaking
guess
wet.
What? So is Michael Strahan. He's back too. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Drew.
We lost you a little earlier, but it actually all worked out perfectly, and now you're in a new location for a better connection.
Yes, I am.
Looks like he's in a closet.
For a much better connection.
What do you think?
You know what? Whoa. You know, I'm watching with Jamie, and you said your skills in the kitchen
Jamie?
but your skills of getting the stain out are unbelievable. Wow, looks incredible.
Well, Michael, I really wanted to impress you. You are someone I truly admire, and just, like, I think you're so rad, and I had to, like, get this right for you. I was really feeling a lot of pressure. And your collection by Michael Strahan that's now available at Men's Warehouse's stores
There we go.
nationwide.
Okay. All right. So this is why there needs to be a sitcom about this kind of work.
I would call it a comedy of errors, but it wasn't funny.
Can you imagine working on this show and the producers going, we've got a segment sponsored by 2 products, the soap, 3, the soap, the Buff Sponge, undyed, and Michael Strahan's suit line. The Zoom goes out a minute into the segment. Drew's hair dryer shits out. I mean, this day of work for the people on this set is fucking hilarious.
All to sell the audience. Like, she just wasted everybody's time in America watching this. I get what you're trying to do. You're not really trying to help people out with their stains, Drew. No. You're trying to sell some shit.
And what CBS executive did Michael Strahan bend him over to allow him to join their Illuminati, where he gets plugs for his personal brand of suits? I don't know what this man did, and I blame Brett Favre for rolling out that season and purposely giving him the sack record on the last play of the game.
Hey, too. Nick, let's start releasing an episode of our show during the day. And let's see what happens, because it seems like a lot of dumb people are watching TV at 12.
I mean, this is a half-assed version of another podcast Saturday night, I'm telling you guys. When we have a mishap when Dylan's cooking, then we cut to us in the living room gambling and drinking.
Oh, you pitched that idea.
Yeah, and people are getting back to me. I'm really excited. I'm waiting for the call.
Yeah.
Bated breath. What'd you say? We'll follow up?
I'll follow up. Yeah, definitely.
It's happening.
But listen, everybody support Drew. Because
she's likable.
She's likable, and you'll see more segments like this, because what's happened with Drew is that she's been cut a check for $20 million, and now what she's being subjected to, it's really a Faustian bargain here. It's a Faustian agreement. NBC now owns her. They can use her to peddle whatever fucking sponge, soap, or suit line they want her to peddle. And it is fucking hilarious. So we got to move on to the viral clip that took over the planet. That was... Drew, please. Shut up. The cat that fell from the rafters of the Hurricanes Stadium football...
I would have passed on it, but now that you brought it up, we do have to watch. You're going to have to Google it.
Yeah. No. Just set it up. Set it up while I'm Googling.
I'm going to set it up by saying there's a lot of viral videos out there. I mean, we've all watched some people fight at Walmart or...
Hilarious.
Or just, like, fat guys fall over. But, no, can you go to Twitter?
Twitter. You want me to go to Twitter?
Twitter is the best, my favorite search engine for something that happened recently, actually. It's to me, it's surpassing Google. Cat Stadium.
There's your favorite.
Just search Cat Stadium.
Okay. All righty.
Videos. Not that one.
Okay.
Not that one. Not that one.
A lot of
Not
angles.
that one. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. This is the one. It's not that one. Can you go to videos in the up top? Press escape. Go to videos.
Don't be indignant though, right? Because this is insane.
Where did you get indignation from?
I don't know. Maybe I misread it.
One clip was labeled "Falling Cat Caught by Flag."
Yeah, that's what happened.
I know, but it was the wrong angle. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. We are seeing just some incredible footage of this cat from every angle you could get. You know what? Can you go to Bob Maneri's Instagram? I'm serious. Can you go to Bob?
No, I know you're serious.
Just Google Bob Menery, Menery.
I hope someone adopted that cat and that story ended.
They
well.
lost it. No one can find it.
Oh damn!
Spoiler alert. Menery. That works. And then the cat video, and don't have any sound on. Oh, it's what a turn of events! Bob Menery's Instagram with 2.9 million followers is private.
It's crazy to think about. Like, maybe the stars are telling us something, that this viral video does not have to be broken down with the perfect director of photography's
pick one
angle.
You're right. I really thought that Bob Menery, I didn't want to go there first because he does some voiceover. Watch this. Watch this.
Okay. All right. So this cat is hanging by a thread.
Like Delaney in Below Deck.
Yeah, it's like Delaney in Below Deck. This poor thing.
By the way, look at that pussy that won't bother like stretch himself over the.
I know. The cat is saved in the American flag. Now, I love that take. Let's go back and freeze frame on this fucking empty gesture right here. Look at this fucking guy. This is the let me know if you need anything of heroic animal saving acts. I mean, this guy should be killed.
This is the guy that's in the elevator and the doors are closing and you're walking up to get in the elevator.
This guy is a disgusting human being.
Why are you not more blown away by this cat, Pat? I understand the buildup was a bit much, but it's hanging there like scar.
We've talked about this.
I think the thing could have hit the concrete and it probably would have been okay because it's like it's a very light animal.
I don't know. What is it called?
It would have hit the rail and broke its back.
What is it called? Terminal velocity. Mm-hmm. It's not light enough to not reach terminal velocity from that height. I think it probably would have splatted. And thank God for America.
Thank God for America.
See,
that's like the most beautiful ending of it. It was caught by the American flag.
Yeah, we talked about this on Below Deck, but this video is uniquely geared to you for a couple reasons. Wisconsin feral cats, right?
Right.
Wisconsin people hate cats, right? It's a dog state.
That's a thing you say. I don't believe that. We don't like feral cats.
All right. So also, you're a patriot. This cat is saved by the flag of these United States.
I am not xenophobic. I just think America is the best country in the world and all other countries aren't as good.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. Woo!
Yeah, there you go. And also, you're a millennial. We grew up with Disney. This cat is Scar in this video. This video was made for real Nick Davis.
So true. I love the video. I'm sorry.
I love this video too.
Angle. I know you guys are going to be able to sleep tonight. I'll send it to you guys.
Okay. You know what? You can hang on to it.
Man, it could just give me the chills.
All right, that's it for us, guys. Jump in the comments. Let us know your favorite gnome story. If you hate John Mullaney, if you love Drew Barrymore, if you've seen this cat video. And guys, go watch this and look for the man in the orange shirt and the green hat. This man should be executed.
The angle I wanted to show you guys,
yeah.
They pull the cat out of the flag and a woman holds it up like Simba.
Yeah. I've seen that one. Oh, like Simba.
Yeah, to allude further to, I would say in my personal opinion, the greatest Disney movie of all time.
Yeah, probably. I mean, if you're not including Pixar, but even if you are including Pixar, you still.
Wally's around.
Wally? Are you holding a Wally candle to Lion King?
100%.
Oh my
Wally's
God.
a great movie and like a look into our future, but Lion King is just a movie.
It's Shakespearean perfection. All right, that's it for us. I'm Dylan saying goodnight. Nick, say goodnight.
Goodbye.
Pat.
Bye.